Going to call to order the February 28th, 2024 special session. Please join me for a moment of silence. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Parker.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Next, we have approval of our agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve in a second. Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Motion
All
carries.
ayes.
Next, we have public comment on actionable items. Say no. Okay. Next, we have the Director of Schools contract. Yes, Mr.
Madam Chair.
Vandervoort.
Could we ask Mr. Hall to maybe cover the major terms of the proposed contract that would enable us to maybe at least get that oversight and then can go from there?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The term of the contract is for 3 years and 4 months, stated to begin on the first day of March 2024 and end on the 30th day of June 2027. The annual rate of pay of the contract is $145,000. It is a 12-month position. It's a standard employment contract with standard expense reimbursement and standard vacation and sick days as permitted by law. Then we have an extensive evaluation section that we've added at the board's request. The initial evaluation will be conducted within 6 months or by September 1, 2024. The evaluation, and then after the initial evaluation, the board and Dr. Sutherland would mutually agree upon a new evaluation instrument. The evaluation instrument would include goals and objectives that are agreed upon by the board. And it would also include the working relationships of the director with the board, with teachers, with staffs, with students, and with the community at large. And it has standard termination provisions subject to criminal background check and normal other and customary terms and conditions that you would find in a contract of this type. And I'm happy to cover any of those if you have questions about them.
Mr. Vandervoort.
So, Mr. Hall, the initial 6-month evaluation, I don't think you mentioned, but it's proposed to use the attached form.
That's correct. I attached, and this was, I think, based on your suggestion and Mr. Chadwick's suggestion, we attached the instrument that was used for the last director of school. And that would be the initial evaluation instrument for Dr. Sutherland.
Okay. And then we've added, previously what we didn't have necessary teachers, and we've added teachers for the purpose of just the working relationship between those different groups.
That's correct. So, teachers were not named individually, called out specifically, and so we called them out specifically, teachers and staffs, as part of the constituent groups that the director should have a good working relationship with and be evaluated on.
Third and last question I have, just to clarify, it's my understanding that we're looking to do the evaluation for the first 6 months with this form, but also during that 6-month time period, we're looking to develop with the director of schools a new evaluation form.
That's correct. Either within the first year or within that first 6-month time period. Now, Mr. Parker has suggested at our last meeting that section 16.3, that new evaluation form should be developed and concluded within 6 months so that it would begin with the coming 2024-25 school year. And so that change is in there as well. And it's the board's pleasure whether they want to do it in 6 months or a year.
I'll just comment on that. I like that. I think that we've been working on an evaluation form. I think that kind of hopefully gives everybody an opportunity to have input into it. And then we start with a new form but we have the criteria that within which we're going to be working moving forward. So those are my questions and comments. So thank you for your work.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments?
So by August 1st, we will have the evaluation form in place.
That would be 6 months from the entry of the contract would be September 1.
Okay. But everybody will know what the evaluation instrument will be at the beginning, near the beginning of school year as possible.
Correct.
Okay. Her conversation with Mr. Hall, when I sent in some comments, I asked about the possible inclusion of a 16.2.5. I think that's on the paper.
Can I have your,
You want me to?
I want your legal opinion on that, Mr. Hall.
Okay. And so what Mr. Chadwick wanted to add a new section 16.2.5 would be, while the director is under 16.2.2 is responsible for working relationships with the staff, nothing should prevent staff from bringing concerns directly, and then in parentheses, personal conversations or in writing, close parentheses, to the board. And Mr. Chadwick's concern, and I understand his concern is valid, he had several people reach out to him and be concerned with potential retaliation, but it would be my opinion that we don't need to add that to this contract because we have other grievance procedures, we have other protections or policies in board policy. 5.502 comes to mind. There are a couple of others that would address, I think, that issue. And then additionally, this contract already, I think, covers his concern in section 3.1, where any individual can promptly bring something to the board's attention, and then the board would bring it to the director's attention. So I think I'm hesitant of creating a new grievance procedure potentially in the director's contract over something that we already have policies and procedures for. So it would be my recommendation not to add that line.
Where do you see in 3.1 that anything is brought to the board? It's brought to the director.
It says anything in the board collectively or individually shall promptly refer to the director all suggestions and complaints called to their attention relative to the director of the school district. So if the board gets a complaint, then it's brought to the director. I mean, and then we have policies and procedures already in place for our employees to make issues known.
Okay.
Any other questions? You have any questions, Mr. Underwood?
No, ma'am.
Move to approve contract as amended.
Second.
Just one point of clarification, the as amended still has, it has the choice of 6 months or 12 months. So I think the board needs to decide on 6 months or 12 months for the creation of the evaluation instrument.
Go ahead.
I want to add a comment. If it's not proper, since there's a motion, I'll wait. Then I really wasn't going to mention it, but I think it's probably proper at this point. I would go with either one that Mr. Parker chooses. I think the 6 months is sufficient. I think what we're missing here, I understand the need for the evaluation tool. I think that's been an issue with me for many years. It has been with some of you, but I think what we're missing is that we addressed that at the September meeting when we hired TSBA and approved for that first year evaluation process. And the evaluation is while we're going to use this one, and I don't disagree with Mr. Vandervoort as our first 6 month, that we have in our contract, and the purpose is to have annual goals and planning, and we evaluate by those. They're very dynamic. They can change every year. And I'm glad we left that ability, but I think we had that ability where it will be worked on through mutual work every year. I will withdraw my second and let you go ahead and make the motion for whichever one you want to choose, but I'll support either one of them.
The only, my only thing on that 6 month thing was just to try to make sure that the director has our plan in mind as the new school season starts, the 24-25 season starts. So that was my goal. That was my idea on that. I feel like that also holds us accountable, along with the director accountable, to make sure that we get together before then and get that plan in there. And that would be my opinion, and I would make the plans to do what we got to do to get that done. If y'all would, if y'all are good with the 6 month, I just think that makes us and the director accountable for getting it done before the new school season starts.
I would think we should do it quicker than that, but 6 months is certainly a safe margin. And I think that we all think the same way, that there'll be a bit of a honeymoon period to try to get working with what we have going right now. But by the end of the year, we should have that working for the summer and should be in place by the 6 month. I'll support either one. I prefer you make it 6 months though.
So I'll retract my original motion, and I'll make a motion to approve the contract as amended with the 6 month.
And second, back in place.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderwood,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have comments by board members. Mr. Chadwick, do you want to talk about the things you handed out to us?
I just had a couple of things that I took off of Tennessean about standardized testing and the school voucher. I'll pass those out to you. Haven't had time to read 39 pages, but it'll probably be different tomorrow. But I just brought those up to date for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chadwick.
Thank you, Mr. Chadwick.
Any other comments?
Congratulations, Ms. Christy Sutherland.
Seems like our legislature is trying to lump on several issues with this voucher, and that is to reduce the amount of testing, coupled with reducing the amount of evaluations teachers will have so they can possibly get this voucher program passed. I don't know why they're taking that approach, but I guess it's politics. It's the way they do. Those two issues in my mind are completely separate and apart, but neither here nor there. But I hope our legislators are paying attention to it. Dr. Sutherland, congratulations. And I know you'll do a great job.
Reminder that we have a work session Tuesday night, March 5th at 6 p.m.
Get to work. No, y'all are too.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Underwood.